Hello everyone, it's Kari from sunshineinmypocket.com. Today I have 5 different ideas and 5 cards to share with you using stencils. And today I'm going to be using these leaf stencils from Maker Forte. They have a 6x6 stencil and also a slimline stencil. I thought these were just so beautiful and I was excited to play with them. The Slimline is brand new release from this latest release, and they had the 6x6 earlier, but I haven't had a chance to play with it yet, so today is the day. All of these ideas that I'm sharing you can use with any stencils that you have. Today is going to be focused on these leaves, and hopefully you'll get some new ideas or some thoughts on what to do with some stencils that you have. So let's get started. I'm just going to pull out a bunch of distress inks starting out in greens and blues, and I'm using this blending brush that is kind of a wide brush so you can get a lot of color on very quickly. Now you can see that I didn't dab this off onto paper like I would normally do, so I get some lights and dark areas on here, which I actually like. So I am not worried about dabbing it off at all, just getting some color on and letting it be. So this is kind of fun to do, and look at how pretty a result you get. Although just having it one color of green is very boring, so we're going to add multiple shades of green. I started off with mowed lawn, and now I'm going to go in with some of the evergreen bough, and I'm using a smaller brush for this part because I just want to go into the centers of each of these leaves and make it a little darker and give it a little more color. So that's why as I go on, I'm going to slowly get smaller and smaller with the brushes that I use, just to give me that effect that I'm going for. So here I'm going to put it in the center of the leaves as well. And now I'm going to take an even smaller brush, which is this one. This has been a new favorite of mine also, because I'm learning that you can use it in a lot of different applications. So this one I'm going to go in with some blue now, and I'm just going to add that to the center. And when you do that, you get such a depth of color. You'll notice that I am struggling with keeping this on. I just taped this to the cardstock on the back there. I did not use pixie spray because of some of the other techniques I'm going to be using later on. I didn't want my stencil to be sticky and cause some issues with some of those techniques. But look how pretty this is. When you have multiple colors, you get such a depth in the feeling and in the color. It's really, really pretty. So there you go. There is the slimline and the regular 6x6. I'm going to set those aside as I share with you some other techniques. And here is one right now. And that is to use a radiating color scheme. What I mean by that is to use one color in the center and another color around the outside. And it gives an interesting look to it. So here I'm going in with some peeled paint in the middle using that large blending brush, and look how pretty that looks just by itself. But add one more color to the outside. I'm going to go in with the peacock feathers here and just add that all around the outside so that we have the green in the center, the blue around the outside, and it looks really neat, I think. So I'm blending that through with the green again, and look at that. You get kind of a blend of blues to greens. Really pretty. I'm going to do that one more time on the larger slimline stencil too. I apologize, my workspace kept getting smaller and smaller, so I feel like my stencil's going a little out of the frame here. So I apologize, but you can get the idea. In the first leaf, I did the green in the center of the leaf, and in the second leaf, I did the blue or the peacock feathers in the center. And now I'm going to go, here's what it looks like just like that. It's really pretty with having just one color, but add that radiating color scheme around the outside. And look at this. The blue is going to go on the outside of the green leaf. And then for the other leaf that's blue in the center, I'll do the green around the outside. You get a really fun look at the end. Here you go. Take a look. With the radiating colors, it just looks so beautiful. Now these leaves would also be beautiful in autumn colors, but how about trying an unexpected color scheme? Here I'm going to go in with some purple and then use some pinks around the outside. I didn't clean off my stencil. You can see that. If you want a truer color, then I would suggest just kind of wiping down your stencil first. but I was in a hurry, of course, and I didn't do that. I still think I got a really pretty result though. So the purple in the center, then the pink around the outside, and this is a fun color scheme and something that you wouldn't normally see in nature, so you wouldn't really expect it, but still pretty. Now don't forget, I'm going to turn all of these into cards at the end, so stick around. Now we're going to go in with my fourth idea, and that is to take a small portion of the stencil and foil it. So I've got some Deco foil gel here, and I'm going to just place it on. I've cut down just a small panel to do that, and I'm going to set that aside to dry. While that's drying, I'm going to take the Slimline stencils that we did on these panels, and I'm going to trim out those leaves. Now you could make a card using this as a panel itself to make a card, and that is beautiful as well. But today I wanted to give you some other ideas, so we're going to cut these out, and I'm going to take this black and white Slimline paper designed by Hedgehog Hollow, and I am going to use this as my backdrop for these leaves. These are so pretty. There's so many different black and white ideas or backgrounds that you can choose. Today I chose this kind of herringbone one, and I'm going to cut out all those leaves and put together a die cut sentiment here. This one says thanks. I use the same colors to ink up some paper to cut out that thanks, and it has a black background shadow. And then I'm going to pop those up using some small foam squares, and so that it'll be dimensional on this card. You might have noticed I used some tweezers to help me put together that thanks die cut. I'm going to also use them to remove the backing of these foam dots. And this is the small hook rainbow tweezers from Maker Forte. Brand new, and it's awesome. So here you go. I have this all put together here. I have kind of curled up the points of those leaves, so it gives you a lot of dimension. And now I'm adding some of these dewdrop looking embellishments, and they're clear, but they look like the morning dew on these leaves. I think that turned out beautiful and so dimensional. I hope you can see the interest with all of this dimension. Together this next card, I'm using some of the simple sentiment sayings from Maker Forte. The one that I'm choosing here, I'm just going to cut out with my Fiskars trimmer, and this says, "You are one of a kind." So I'll just trim this down. Now this is printed on toner paper, so you can foil this if you want to, but I love the black and white look on this one, and there's many ways you can place it on your card, but I decided I really liked it this way. So I'm going to glue that right down to this card, and I'm making sure to keep it all lined up using my T-square ruler, and then I will add a small rectangle frame around the outside to give it that finished look. And there you go. To finish it off, I will add some black gems, and this just gives it more of that black look. I'm going to kind of sprinkle them here and there. I like using an odd number of sequins or embellishments, and I think that really helps the eye. So bringing that black in with those gems kind of pulls it all together. For the purple and pink card, I am going to place it on this maroon background. This is just some maroon cardstock from my stash, and I'm going to ink around this sentiment strip that says "thinking of you," and I'm just inking it up very lightly just so it pops off. You probably can't even see that in the video. Just a little extra purple on the edges there. And then I'll add a die cut sentiment that says "hello." And that is going to be this card. This one was very simple to put together, but I think really, really effective with the different colors. So fun. Now this one I'm going to go ahead and make into a shaker card. I call this a see-through shaker because you're going to be able to see through to the background of the stencil that we did. So all I'm going to do is take a frame and attach it to some acetate. Now you can use packaging, you can use whatever you have on hand. I had this Hero Arts acetate, which is a little bit thicker, so I really do like it. And I'm going to take some score tape. This is double-sided adhesive, and it's a really strong tape, and I'm going to use this on the back of the frame. Then I'll remove the backer to all of that score tape, and then I'll just place it on this acetate. And to get it to cut down to the right size, I'll just take my favorite small scissors and cut right around that acetate just behind the frame a little bit so that you have a perfect acetate window ready to make into a shaker. There you go, just cutting that down. And by the way, those little shaker bits I have there are some leaves, little clay pieces. Those are from Maker Forte also, and they're really fun colors. So I'll try to show you that close up in just a minute. Now on the back of the frame, I'm going to add some foam tape, and I have this thinner foam tape. This is from scrapbook.com, and I love this smaller size because it's really easy because you don't have to cut it down. Like if I used 3M foam tape, I would have to cut that down to fit the frame. So now I'm just painting on a little bit of embossing buddy so that I don't get those shaker pieces sticking to the sides of that foam tape. And some of it was sticking straight up, so I had to kind of calm it down there before I could attach that frame. And now I have a large die cut hay that I'm going to attach, and then I cut off a portion of a sentiment strip. It said, "Hey there, friend." So I cut off the hey portion so it would just say "their friend." So this would all work together seamlessly. I did add some foam squares to the side of that hay so that it would be the same raised dimension as that foam on the frame there. So I glued part of that directly to the frame and to the acetate, and then I added the sentiment right there with liquid adhesive. Now this is going to take a little bit of time to dry, so I'm going to take a acrylic block and place that on top while it dries. So my piece is all ready to be foiled, and I have this brand new lily pad color Deco foil that's part of the Enchanted series. I love this green. I also had that mint green, but this one worked better with what I was trying to do, a more bold card. So I chose the lily pad. Now I'm going to cut it down to size and run that through my Mink machine. You can also use a laminator if you don't have a Mink. I only have a Mink. I don't have a laminator. So I'll run that through on level 3, and look at how pretty of a result we get. So shiny and sparkly. Now be sure not to throw out this extra piece of foil. I keep all my extra pieces, and I'm going to show you soon in a video what to do with all of those pieces. So here we have our foiled leaf piece, and I'm going to take these Christmas roses. These are designed by Syberia, and I'm going to color up a few of them using Distress ink very quickly, because this isn't about coloring today. This is about getting the cards together and stenciling, and I like using these brushes for coloring as well. I'm putting this together. The background bold paper is from this Syberia set. Look at all these bold papers in the set. I'm using the navy blue one that has some lines on it here. That brown piece is actually a piece of fun foam. I'm going to pop up the leaf portion on the fun foam. This is brown because I'm running out of my regular colors of fun foam. But no one's going to see this, so I figured brown was just fine. I'm using my double-sided score tape adhesive, that's really strong adhesive, to put that onto the card. And then I'll glue on those flowers that we just colored using some ink. Put those directly on. And then I have a die cut hello that I'm going to add right to the top of the foil. You can see that I'm folding up the edges of those flowers to give this card even more dimension and make it look a little more 3D. I really like that look. This sentiment I have already die cut, and I heat embossed it with gold multiple times to get that layered look. It's really fun to die cut and heat emboss. I like that look a lot. So this was in gold, and I'm just going to add that now to a top folding card. Look at the back of this paper, by the way. All of this paper is just so beautiful. So lots of choices in that paper pad. So I'll put all these cards together now. I'm not going to show you putting all of these cards together, but I did attach them to top folding cards, and I'm going to give you a look now at all of the cards we've made today. Here we have the black and white slimline paper that we added, those leaves that we cut out. Such a fun look, and a new way to use a stencil. Here's the one we used the radiating colors on and added some gemstones and a sentiment strip. Here's the unexpected colors of pink and purple. I think that turned out fun. Here's our shaker card with the leaves inside and the leaves on the background. There's our foiled piece right there with the embossed hello and the colored inked up flowers very quickly. And there are all 5 of our cards. I really had so much fun making these. There are so many other ways that you can use stencils, but I just love trying out new things, and that foil looks great. Having a see-through shaker is kind of fun as well as the radiating color scheme. So much fun, and that unexpected color. I hope you enjoyed this video today. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. It really does help with YouTube. And I'll be back soon to share some more ideas, more cards, and more fun with you in creating. I hope you have a really great day. Thanks again for stopping by. Be sure to subscribe to my channel, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.